All right. I'm back. My name is Eiland. Today I'll be interviewing Frederick Eiland, who is my father, and he is a retired truck driver and also a father of 13. So, how are you doing today?
That's fine. Yourself?
I'm good.
All right.
Okay, so I guess we can start with like who you were when you were younger. So, what was the younger version of Frederick like? Like around, I want to say 10 to like your teenage years.
Just playful, outgoing, love sports, hanging out with my friends. We had the center up there, so they kept us out of a lot of trouble because we had somewhere to go play pool, play arcade games, and like I say, basketball. And they also had a football team, so it kept us out, kept us involved with stuff to keep us out of trouble.
What school was it?
That was the Silver Spring Neighborhood Center.
Oh, Silver Spring neighborhood. That's where you went for like middle school, high school.
No, that was. But I went to Henry David Thoreau for grade school, John Muir for middle school, and James Madison for high school.
You played any sports in high school, or was that
No,
just in school?
that wasn't for school. That was just the
For
center to go. Something to do.
Okay, for fun.
Yes.
When did you start working, like an actual job? Was that when you was a teenager, or were you grown by then?
I think I started working uh, probably like 16 or 17, but was that for the center? I can't really remember exactly what I was doing, but I started then, but then I got, at 18, I started working a regular job.
By 18.
Yes.
And so, how many siblings do you have?
I have two.
Two siblings.
Yes, two sisters, older sisters.
Two older sisters.
Yeah.
Do you ever wish you had a brother?
I never really thought about it.
Just as like this is what it is.
Right, right.
So you say you started working at 16, the real job at 18. So right away, were you like helping out with bills, or kind of was it like just handling your own finances, doing what you want to do, having fun with them?
When I was younger, when I started at 16, yeah, I just did what I wanted to do with the money and stuff like that. I didn't have to pay any bills and stuff like that at that age.
Okay. And then you said you had two sisters. So what did y'all like to do together? How was that family dynamic?
Well, my older sister is 5 years older, so she was, we wasn't really hanging out like that as we growing up and stuff like that. Because she, like I say, she had a 5 year difference. And my next sister, that's 1 year older than me, we're kind of close when we were younger and stuff like that. But as you get older, you kind of grow apart and stuff like that. So we didn't really hang out as teenagers or nothing like that because you start getting your own friends and stuff like that. And she kind of went her way and I went mine.
And they all still reside in Milwaukee?
No, my oldest sister is up in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and my other sister is here.
Okay. And so you obviously still live here. Was it always like a plan for you to stay in Milwaukee, kind of like this is where home is, or did you ever dream of going somewhere else?
Not really, because I've been when I was driving trucks, I seen all over the country, and it's no place like home. We have all four seasons here. Florida, don't want the hurricanes. Been out to California, don't want the earthquakes. I used to hurry up and get out of there, drop my load off, and want to leave. Some parts of Texas and Oklahoma, they call that Tornado Alley up at 35. So didn't want no parts of that stuff. So we have all four seasons here. We really never had a tornado in Milwaukee and stuff like that. Yeah, it get cold and stuff like that, but you pay for that good weather.
Yeah, jobs, available. When did you start working? When did you start trucking? How old were you?
It was back in 2001 when I went over the road.
Oh, 2001.
Yeah.
That's when you started. Now it's 20. And when did you retire from trucking? What year?
2020.
So that's 19 years, right? 19
yes.
years. So what did you, how was that experience for you driving over the road all those years?
At first it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just was like a job, to provide for my family. But I got to see the whole United States, different parts of Canada.
So y'all do go to Canada. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've been to Canada a bunch of times. Ontario, uh, Quebec,
Oh, wow.
British Columbia, uh, what they call it, Providence. But
Toronto.
yeah, Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been all up through there.
And so it was fun first, and then it turned into a job.
Yeah,
and,
it was.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, yeah, it was fun at first and stuff like that. But I mean, after so long, so many years, you know, get to know on the road by heart, this and that. You get to know, okay, I'm gonna stop at this truck stop. They got a nice truck, and it's
routine.
it's just a routine and get kind of boring after a while. But it paid good money at one time and stuff like that, and you didn't have a boss looking over your shoulder, so that was a plus right there. And plus, I owned my own truck, so I was my own boss and stuff like that. So that really just that made a big difference right there instead of working for somebody. And when I did come home, I can take off as long as I want to because it was my truck, as long as my bills was paid and I was financially okay. I can just spend more time at home. So
it was super flexible then. That's probably was the best part.
Yes, it was.
And then you say you did, 19 years. And what was like something that's crazy? I don't know, what's a crazy story that happened like over the road?
It's a whole lot of them.
I bet 19 years.
Yeah, the craziest thing. One time I was in a park in this parking spot. I was up in, what was I at? I think West Virginia or something like that. So usually when you finna bag up, you turn your four ways on and let people know that you finna bag up and stuff like that. And a truck came and the guy had an oversized load and it was about to get dark. So I know they needed places to park. So one of them shot in there, bagged up and stuff like that. And the other guy tried to come, but I was already bagging up. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to lose this last spot. So I went on and bagged up in there. And the guys, oh, you hit me, this and that. I told him, man, get off my truck. He stepped on my ladder and stuff like that. I had to pray because I had a bad day because I was wet. I missed drop-offs and got stuck in the snow. So it was just a bad day already for me. And then here come this guy right here. And all I wanted to do is just go get a shower, get me something to eat, and just relax and stuff like that. Now I'm dealing with this person right here. And he just don't know. He was real close of getting it. And so I bagged in and I told him to get off my truck and stuff like that. And then he came back up to me. Then he seen how big I was when I got out the truck. And he was like, oh, that was just me. And I man, shut up talking to me. Just leave me alone. And, that was one crazy story. But it ended well because nothing happened and stuff like that. But, yeah.
Misunderstanding.
Yeah, well, he knew I was bagging up in that spot. So on him, it wasn't on me. Right. A misunderstanding because I did everything I was supposed to do and stuff like that. But he was just trying to get in there next to his friend and stuff like that to take the parking spot from me. And he just was trying to make something out of nothing, but I wasn't having it. And he backed down and everything was okay.
Okay. And let me see. I was going to ask you a question. So what exactly do y'all pick up, like doing loads? What exactly? Just checkers? Or does it depend?
It could be anything. I done haul personal, like people in the military. I done haul their cars and stuff like that. One time I had a plane on my truck. They took the wings off. I had a plane on my truck at one time. That one of them small aircrafts. I had the thing like for the Army where it comes down and fuel up the plane. And they can still fly, but that long arm comes down. That was like $1 million part. I hauled that before. Military trucks, tankers, steel, wood.
Supplies for companies and stuff.
Yeah. Whatever could fit on back of the truck. Equipment when the machine shops in Canada, Chicago, all of that stuff was shutting down when the car industry took a hit. I hauled a lot of equipment that manufacturers went out of business, and I hauled that down to Laredo, Texas, and that stuff went across the border. So it was just whatever could really fit on a truck. Swimming pools, whatever. Anything. Yeah, anything. I mean, anything that can go on there. Speaking of Florida earlier, when I was talking about the hurricanes and stuff like that, I had moved this guy. He had a machine shop down in Florida. He said that was it for him. He moved from Florida up to Michigan. So he said he wasn't going to go through that anymore. And he had a couple of businesses. I think he had an apartment. He was a millionaire.
He just left.
Yeah, he sold everything. He said that was it. He wasn't going through that. He had been through a couple of hurricanes down there in Florida, and he just got tired of it. He didn't want to keep on rebuilding, and I'm quite sure it's real expensive for insurance and everything else down there.
You have insurance.
Yeah, I'm quite sure they're paying a pretty penny because they know, you know, they're gonna have to dish it out. So
every year, hurricane season, that's the real thing.
Right. Sometimes they miss it, but then when they do hit you,
it's bad.
Yeah. You lost all your possessions, pictures, and different things like that you can't get back. Mm-hmm. You know, so
you got volunteers coming from out of state to help.
Right.
Okay, so this is a series of, it's called Celebration of Wisdom. So I want to ask, since we were talking about trucking, what advice would you give to somebody who's like going into the trucking business? Let's say they're starting out, you know, they just got their CDLs, and now they're like, okay, I'm ready to do this as a career. What would you give to them? Like, what would you say to prepare them basically for the trucking industry?
Well, you just have to have a made up mind, I guess, along with anything and stuff like that. But I would say start. A lot of people just want to get into it. Oh, I want my own truck and really don't know nothing about it. So the best of you think you're finna make all this money, and you do make good money and stuff like that. But you also spend a lot of money. If something happens to a truck and stuff like that, it's way more expensive than a car. Mm-hmm. So I would say, you know, if you really want to do it, drive for a company for a while and stuff like that to see if this is what you really want to do before you make a decision to go buy a truck and then, you know, mess up your credit, this and that. You decide this ain't for you. Mm-hmm. So I would say work for a company and stuff like that. And the main thing, like I say, with any job, you just have to have a made up mind to do it and just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Nike commercial, huh?
I guess so. Okay, so what other job did you have that you've had for a long period of time? Of course, it won't be as long as 19 years, but what's another long-time job that you had before?
I was a machinist. I worked in a machine shop, and I did that for 5 years. And that was different. Learned a lot of different things, ran a lot of different machines and stuff like that, but it was just being confined in that building, and you got a clock in front of you, you got a watch on my hand. It just dragged the day off. It wasn't really a exciting job to have. It was just like a robot. You open up the door, you put a part in, you push the button, you wait for it to finish, you take it out, you put it to the side. It's like you're a robot. So that was a real boring job.
And how old were you when you did that?
Oh,
a machine.
That was in. Where did I do that from? They let me go in 99 when Lexus was born. And I was out there for 5 years. So that was, that was 94. 94.
94.
Yeah, 94 to 99.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was just, you was like, I can't do this no more. This is too.
Well, actually, they was going ISO, like everybody had to be on the same page or across the world or whatever. And they hired a bunch of Hmong people.
Oh. And
so I was at like $14.50, and you know, they come in the door at $7, so you can have two of them for one of me. So they called it a layoff, but they basically fired me and got people cheaper and stuff like that to make more money for the company. And they got not just me, it was a lot of people that left that was there for a while and stuff like that. And because they didn't pass the test at first, which was so crazy. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, they didn't understand the test. And then you got an interpreter in there. So you don't speak Hmong. You don't know if the interpreter giving them the answer or just reading the question. Mm-hmm. Or are they reading the question and telling them the answer too? Right. And then all of them pass. And then everybody started getting let go and stuff like that. Yeah.
And so right after that, did you work, because you said 94, 99?
Yeah, 99.
Basically, after 2 years later, you started trucking, right?
Yeah, well, I started at Reinhardt. That was delivering food to the Burger Kings. Okay. So that was trucking, but I started off as a helper because I did have CDLs, but I used to drive a school bus. Oh. So I had CDLs from that, but I had to have my air brakes and my combination. So once I started off with a helper there, and they knew I had my CDLs, and they had called the guy in from the Milwaukee bus company, the city bus company, and he came in, you know, I did my tests and stuff like that, and he came and gave me my road test. And, you know, he liked the way I was and stuff like that. And he told me, hey, if this don't work out for me, you come and see me, because there was a lot of people retiring. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I had drove the school bus, and I didn't want to, you got a lot of different personalities with the
Yeah.
kids. Now you're dealing with grown-ups and stuff like that too. And I just didn't want to do that.
You don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, no, not with people and stuff like that. Dealing with the people sneaking on buses and
Right.
you know, cussing you out and this and that, and it's just like it wasn't
Culture
worth
of the
it.
city.
Yeah, you just didn't, you know, didn't want to do it. Probably like a charter bus probably would have been okay or something like that, but
Not the city.
I didn't. Yeah, not the city bus.
Yeah. Okay. And what age or what year did you have your first kid? Because we're gonna steer over into conversation about parenting now.
Okay. Frederick is 35. I'm 37. I mean 57. 37. That would be something. So what was it? It's 35, 45, 55. 22. 22.
22? 22 years old?
Yeah,
And how was
35,
that?
40. Yeah, 35, 45, 55, 56, 57. Yeah.
22. So you was 22 years old.
Yeah.
So how did you feel at that age? Did you feel like you was ready for a kid, or were you just like, this is what this is my responsibility now?
Well, this is my responsibility now because, I mean, you don't know how it's going to work out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
By becoming a parent and stuff like that, you hope you make the right decision for your kids and everything like that. But you don't know. It's like it's no magical handbook that's out there. This is the perfect guide to parenting. You would be the perfect parent if you follow this step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you just do the best you can, and life throws all different type of curves at you, and you just gotta adapt and go with the flow, and
Okay. And so you said you were 22,
Mm-hmm.
and then so let me see, what age did you reach? I'm going to say the middle because you have 13, so we're going to start at 7, which is me. Number 7, I was born in 2001. So what was, you just started trekking, right?
Right.
So how was that, having 7 kids and you're like, okay, boom, trekking? How was that transition, to leave everything and do that?
I wanted to do it because, like now, like you said, now I have 7 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I was making okay money at Reinhardt driving air truck, but that was like local and stuff like that. But the opportunity presented itself where I could get a truck, no credit check, no money down, and just got into it. Yeah. So I got into it. That's one of the reasons I got into it and stuff like that. I talked to Pastor Randy about it, and he was like, yeah, just because he had a lot of kids. So he kind of knew and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, I know what you're saying. You want to be able to provide for your kids and give them the, they don't have to have all the name brand stuff, but if, you would like to give them some stuff and nice name brand stuff and stuff like that, and also make a good living. And there was way more money doing that, over the road trucking than it was doing local. So I made that decision. It was a sacrifice. It was like, yeah, you outweighing everything like that when you're making them decisions and stuff like that. And I told myself when I did it, I said, well, I gave Reinhardt 2 years of my life. Mm-hmm. I'm walking away with them with nothing. Mm-hmm. I said, if I get this company, because they had a 2-year plan to pay off the truck. I said, if I do this, I'll walk away with a truck at the end of 2 years and stuff like that. And I can sell it or whatever if I don't like it, if it don't work out. Mm-hmm. But it worked out, and I kept on doing it and stuff like that.
Okay, and so I got 2 questions about that. First, advice to first-time dads, because you said you were 22. And then the second, you talked about managing money with kids. So the first question is, what advice do you have for first-time fathers? Like, what would you tell them to prepare for?
Just what to prepare for.
They might be scared. They might be doubting themselves or something.
Right. I mean, you're going to have that and stuff like that, but I guess you just feed off of that, right? Just go for it,
Let that motivate you.
Yeah, let that motivate you. Let that inspire you and stuff like that. Like, hey, you got somebody to take care of now. You got to push them feelings kind of to the side right now. There's no time for that. You just got to do it. The child didn't actually be here, so it's your responsibility. You're the adult, man up.
Yeah. And then you said you got some advice on financial.
Well, when I was talking to Pastor Randy, he was just telling me that, he had to make the same decision because by him living in the South, it wasn't that many jobs for him down there. And it was, they had eight kids. Yeah, they got 8 kids. So he was like, he had to make that same type of decision. Like, man, I can stay around here and be at home every night, but then the family goes lacking with, you know, big family. I mean, it's real expensive for food and everything else, housing. Then you got to buy the clothes and everything else, so you can stay and make a little money. And then, yeah, you home, this and that. And then, but then, hey, I want this, Dad. I want this, that. And it's like, okay, you can't. Something's got to give, you know. So I just made that decision after talking to him and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, you know, I just give it a try and see how it works out and stuff like that. So, and it, you know, like I said, it worked out. I was able to buy a house and stuff like that, and you know, paid the cars off and truck off, and end up with another truck and paid that off, and you know, it worked out.
So when you became a homeowner, which was around like 2005, four. So did like, you know, finances change? You kind of like, okay, I'm gonna split the bills this way. Did you have everything by that time when you bought a house? Did you have like your financial plans ready, or were you still kind of working?
No, you just go on the go. You know, it's like nothing. I didn't have nothing planned out. Maybe other people do and stuff like that. It was just like the opportunity presented itself. We had to leave from the place we was at. This house popped up. I had the income. My credit had got better by the end and stuff like that. And it was just because the lady, even at the closing, she was like, "You're not nervous signing this contract for the first time, this and this and that?" It was like, no, I'm just do it. I mean, if it works out, it works out. If it don't, it don't. I wouldn't be the first one that lost the house if it didn't work out, and I won't be the last one.
Because it's something you can't control. You know?
Right, exactly, because you don't know with your health or with a job, career, you know, at anything. You really don't know from day to day, you know, what's going to happen. Is your job going to be there tomorrow? It's a lot of people. I was talking to this lady at McDonald's one time, and when Master Lock on 35th and Center had closed up, and she was like, well, I'm good because I've been there like 30 something years. But these other people that just came in like a year ago, 6 months ago, and they were thinking it's going to be a long-term career. And, you know, they went out and bought houses and they got new cars and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden now, oh, we're closing down. So now what? Now you know what I mean? Now you got a $1,500 mortgage and stuff like that. You got a $600-700 car, and you're making the money to pay for it. But now you just got to figure something else out. You just can't throw your hands up. Now you're just gonna have to maybe get a couple of part-time jobs or whatever. You know, you just got to figure it out. You never know what life's gonna throw at you, but you just got to keep on.
Everything is kind of like a liability. Like you never know what can give.
Like, you don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen to the one day to the next day. Look at Jeremiah, you know, just lifting weights, and then all of a sudden you off of work for weeks, 3-4 months.
Oh, months.
Yeah, I think he hurt himself in July. He just went back, and so you know, but you still had a car note, this and this and that. But you just got to learn from your experience. Like, okay, what did I learn from this? This happened. Okay, I was spending money like crazy, but now I have to still spend some or whatever because you got to enjoy yourself because it's, you know. Because you never know when you're going to leave here either. You can save, and then somebody else will be enjoying your money. But you got to also put some to the side because you know yourself. Yeah. You needed a motor. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now it's like, okay, spend, but set some to the side. You know, split it up some type of way. Like, okay, this is going to be my spend money right here. This is going to be my saving money. This is going to, you know, saving for my car. This is another savings account for, you know, whatever. Just try to save, even if there's not that much going in there. But you got to have some money because you're going to need a tire. Something's going to happen, but you're going to need some money and stuff like that. And sometimes it seems like it always comes at the worst possible moment, you know? Definitely. Right.
Okay. And so, let me see. Oh, that's a couple more questions to finish it up. So you're basically considered Generation X, right? Gen X?
I have no idea how that stuff goes.
I think it's somewhere Gen X. So I want to ask, because we like Gen Z. Generation Z is from 1999 to like 2015.
But I was born in 67. Okay, so I don't know what you call that.
So it was millennials before Gen Z, and I think it was Gen X before. So I think you are considered. I'll just look up the generations. Oh. But do you think, you know, seeing generations pass, do you think that people have gotten lazier? This is a big thing now. People are talking about like people who don't want to work anymore. Like, what do you think about that idea?
Well, you guys have a lot more technology, so it's a lot more by the games and stuff like that. We didn't have these type of games you guys had, so we're outside. Yeah, we stayed outside. We, like I said, we were playing basketball, football, you know, whatever. We were just gone.
Active.
Yeah, we were real good. Yeah, we was active. We was gone. We was outside. We didn't have. Now you got. I mean, good as the gaming system is, it's like it's
social
so good
media.
that people get stuck on it. Yeah, we didn't have social media.
Social media.
We didn't have no phones and stuff like that to talk on to
Yeah.
our friend. You talk on your friend, and then you better get off the phone because your mother needs to use it or whatever. You can't just tap the phone all day, or just everything is at your hand where you can just look at it. You can just ask Google or whatever something instead of going to the library or getting a book and stuff like that, seeing the definition of it, this and that. You had to get a paperback book, which is better now with the technology and stuff like that. That is good, but in a way, like I said, a lot of people don't even go outside like that and be active and in the sports and stuff like that. Some do, but the majority of the kids is just on the TV and stuff like that, and with the technology. So
the convenience kind of makes them lazy, and that's what I was saying about even like DoorDash. Before you have to go out and get your food, and you can just sit and order on your phone now. People bring it to your door. So
right. And a lot of people didn't have money like that and was always cooking. I mean, when I was growing up, we used to have McDonald's every now and then and stuff like that. But by my mother being a single mother and stuff like that, the money was tight, so we didn't always have McDonald's and stuff. That was a treat. Now it's just like, like 3-4 times a week, people have McDonald's there out to eat. I eat out a lot. I was telling my friend the other day, I'm like, man, I eat out too much. I'm not even on the road. I got used to eating out so much because I was on the road. I didn't have no other choice. Right. But now I'm at home and I still do it. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that is a lot of money.
Yeah. Instead of cooking and preparing a good meal at home and stuff like that. So
a healthy good meal.
Yeah, a healthy good meal. And the way and then half the time you don't get the right service there. You get home, your stuff cold, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this technology changed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and it's changing even more so. It's just like this is the beginning of a change because you look at AI now and what all AI can do and stuff like that. They're finna come out with Tony sent it to the group mail to the family message at one time, and I was trying to look for it. And but Elon Musk, he was on a podcast thing or whatever, and he was like, we know AI is going to put so many people out of work that they're trying to come up with a universal pay for people because that's how many jobs are going to be lost behind this. And he's like, maybe like $2,000 a month that's paying people because they AI. Because you figure right now, he's got a self-driving truck. Yeah. So the semi-drivers,
out of jobs. Yeah.
Out of jobs. You look at China has the largest unmanned port. And that's what they was just like this summer and stuff like that. These port guys was on strike. That's all the stuff. The ports is when the containers come on ships from China and all these different places like that. And you got a bunch of people, and there's good money at them ports and stuff that they making. But China has the largest unmanned port right now already. So they worried about if they doing it over there, it's going to come here. And, and then on Facebook, I seen where the first AI restaurant opened in California. So it's no employees and stuff like that. Then you got these little robots that's cutting the grass.
Yeah.
You got them shoveling. They got one for the snow now. You go to Sam's Club. They got the robot cleaning the floor by itself. The machine that's going around cleaning the floor. That's somebody's job. Yeah, and just imagine this is just the beginning of this stuff because AI is just.
It's one of the advance.
Right, and it's just what it ain't been that long. Yeah, a couple of years. So if it's already making this technology, and then you look at this stuff and it's like, okay, well. Instead of women losing babies and stuff like that through their birth and stuff like that, China then came up with something where you can put the seed in a AI robot and it'll carry the baby for you. So it's getting real. Dangerous. Yeah. And then it's just a matter of time. Like they said, Elon Musk went out with an AI that's supposed to be his girlfriend or whatever. So now it's going to get kind of
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you got a girlfriend that, you don't need a regular girl. You can just have your computer, turn it on, do what you want to do, hang out or whatever. And then you just turn it off. You ain't got to have no arguments, no nothing. So it's getting kind of weird.
So it's making us be disconnected in a way from each other.
It really is. Yeah. It really is because a lot of people just like to text. You don't even, scroll or even just texting and stuff instead of just picking up the phone.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm just checking on you. I really don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, I really don't want to talk to you, but how you doing? Okay. I just checking with you. Have a good night. And that's it. There's no really, communication, or they get lost up in these games and stuff like that. And, it's like I said, just people just don't interact like that, like a lot of stuff like that. And then it's so crazy when you do interact, like that one girl, her first date ended up chopped up.
Wow. Yeah, here in Milwaukee.
Yeah. That was her first date with this guy. She was younger.
Experience.
Yeah, I think she was like 18, 19 or something like that. And he's like 31 or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, so you got stuff like that, and it's,
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, definitely gotta be careful and check out who you talking to or whatever. Just don't rush into something. But you figure, ain't nobody really figuring that type of stuff. Like, we just going out to hang out to get to what, how you supposed to get to know somebody if you can't even trust them like that? So it's a, but I guess the whole thing, you got to keep God and everything and stuff like that. And, and just pray and stuff like that. Just hopefully he leads you and guides you and, with the decisions and stuff like that, and being in tune with him. So if anything, something just don't seem right or whatever, this and that, and pray about it and stuff like that. And, because you just don't know. Like I said, life happens and stuff like that. We just never know. It ain't even like if you just pray, like ain't nothing gonna happen to you, no way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because something still can be happening. You can be the most prayerful person anyway, but it's still just best to be in tune with him and stuff like that to get
direction.
Yeah, to get some directions and stuff like that, and he can protect you from stuff that's coming. Because I know a lot of times I was, he was with me and stuff like that, and I remember one time I was just rushing. It's like every light was catching me, everything. I forget what I had to try to get home for or something, but I rushed out to Sam's Club. I had to go out there, and I was just rushing. Like I said, every light was catching me. I get in this line, and then all of a sudden it started taking longer. Then I go to the next line, and it's like, wow. And then I finally got out the store, and I got down on 76 in Good Hope, and it was a bad accident, and somebody died right there. Now,
in the same spot you were
in the same spot, I came past, but it slowed me down. But what if I was a little earlier? What if I'd have checked out on time? You don't know, but it just make you think and stuff like that.
Like what if every light was green and you went through?
Right, and I could have been there at that time and maybe not died or whatever, but it could have been a bad accident or something like that. So you just never know.
Could have got hurt out of work.
Yeah.
A bunch of stuff that happened.
Exactly.
Okay, and to wrap up, the last question would be, what is one word of advice you have to the younger generation? I know we talk a lot about, getting them outside, tell them to be active again. So what is one piece of advice? And it can be related to anything. It can be about parenthood. It can be about, you're just my guy, so it can be about spirituality. It can be about whatever. But just one piece of advice that you...
Well, the main thing is to get saved, man. That would be the greatest advice and stuff like that. Because you can avoid a lot of heartaches. Like I said, there ain't going to be no smooth road by being saved and stuff like that. But a lot of things God can protect you from that you don't have to experience and go through. And if you sit there at church and stuff like that and you listen to different people's testimonies and stuff like that, it can help you out. Yeah. It can save your life. They used to have a commercial, and they'll put a dummy in a thing and a dummy will crash or whatever. And it's like, you can learn a lot from a dummy, So you just look at people, the mistakes people made in their life and stuff like that. If you seen your sibling make mistake. I seen my sister moved out, got furniture, had to pay credit, had to pay her bills, had to do that. And I told myself that I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
So I put my stuff on their way, and I paid off all my furniture. So when we moved to our first apartment, everything was paid for. I only had to have a regular bill. I didn't have to worry about get it now and, all that type of stuff, all that money going out. Oh, I got to pay this, I got to pay this, I got to pay that. So just, listen to your parents and stuff like that. They might not be right about everything, but if they done live a long life and stuff like that, they can give you some good advice and stuff like that. Even like with you and stuff like that, you done live some. You're not that old, but I'm quite sure you can give Gabby, Adriana, you know what I mean? You can give them some advice and stuff like that. Well, this is what I did. This is what I did. So older people does have wisdom and stuff like that because they've been around and stuff like that. So it's best to listen to them. Suck up the knowledge, take what's for you, everything is not going to be for you, but you can learn a lot from a older person and stuff like that, and just take the wisdom and, just learn and just keep learning yourself and stuff like that, and just be the best you can be. Nobody's perfect and stuff like that. Nobody has all the answer, but you just be the best you can be.
Be the best you can be.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
All right. You're welcome.